Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Inside Track. I'm Jim Quinn, along with Jim Parent, and we're going to talk about the good old days when Jim and I got elected and many other good things tonight. Jim, I was thinking about it on the way over. Now, what year did you get elected, and when were you mayor?
1989.
89 was, and were you mayor in 89?
Yeah.
So your first time you ran, you got elected mayor?
I was the mayor.
That's super. And then in 93, who became the mayor? Was it Rob?
Rob
briefly, and then Emily, right?
Yeah.
And 97 I did.
Right.
But the year that I became the mayor, Jim was the vice mayor, and what a great slate we had, the 5 J's. It was Jim and I, John Hollingshead, rest his soul, super person. He really was. Joe Durella and Jeff Trout. And it was interesting then, too, we never played politics.
No.
You know, Jim and I were Democrats, Jeff and John were Republicans, and Joe was a Democrat, but we didn't give a darn about, worried about the party. We cared about the city. And Jim, we had a great, many years, great 4 years during that 1997 and 2001. And I know we sat together, and Jim was the vice mayor, we talked about what can we do for the city. And again, one of the key things, I remember one thing I did well, I stole Don Ayers from Bridgeton. He was our economic development. I brought him back to Millville, and he was great, wasn't he? You know,
that's the big key, Jim, is to have the right people at City Hall to work and believe in what we're all doing.
Yeah.
And the success that we had, was because of the professional staff, also in City Hall.
Yeah.
Lou Thompson, one of the best administrators.
Absolutely.
To me, being around as long as I have, even at the state. We were very fortunate having someone like Lou as our city administrator.
Yeah, we were.
We had the support. We had a great engineering department.
Yes.
And we had a young lady in the planning department that was just like God sent her down from as an angel to us.
Kim Walker,
I can remember when I came in, I personally wanted to meet each and every department head. And see where their plans are and what have you. And I ran into this young lady, and of course she just knocked the socks off of you.
Amazing.
With her vision and her enthusiasm, and the riverfront project that I was trying to get going. And she just jumped right into that. And we had a beautiful riverfront. Because of that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Jim, you put the pavers down on High Street, and really did a lot of great things infrastructure-wise for the downtown. And as Jim's talking about, Kim Walker, who's now Kim Ayers, was fantastic and still is. She's still helping. She's with the Improvement Authority, right? She's sort of economic development arm there, although she's doing it part-time. But she was fantastic.
She hasn't stopped.
No, she hasn't. No.
With something that's like the library.
That's right. Good point.
Trying to help put it back together. And getting the County Improvement Authority to get on board with us and save us hundreds of thousands of dollars. For that library building. Kim is just one of those mobile people that just believes in the city, and she continues doing it. She continues serving.
Yeah, she really does. But again, it comes back to the people, the staff. I mean, we had a tremendous staff of the assistant secretaries at that time is what they were called, that were working with Peggy Huff and Laura Burns. And and you know who I just saw, Doreen Quay said, I just saw Hattie Ayers, who I love. Everybody loves Hattie, right? I hadn't seen Hattie in 20 years, and I'm down at the Hotel Charlesworth, and she comes over to me, and she's still got that beautiful smile, one of the nicest people, always positive, always upbeat. And then I went to Axel Johnson's funeral long ago. I run into Hattie again. I said, we've gone 20 years and not seen each other, and within 1 week we see each other twice. It's funny how those things. And Arlene McCafferty, another sweetheart. We were lucky.
Well, they were a great group of people. That I think they had confidence in us, Jim, because we allowed them to run their department.
Exactly.
We didn't walk in telling them, look, this is what I want you to do. We asked for opinion, we asked for advice. And that's the key. That's the whole thing.
Yes, it is.
And it takes a while for them to really get to know you, me, as a mayor or a commissioner. And I think that was part of our success with that downtown district. That the merchants, were complaining before I got elected. The infrastructure of the town, the curbing, the sidewalks, the lighting, no place to park. And we put that vision and the plan together, the riverfront.
Yep.
Which was the big key.
Yeah.
When we were able to go out with UEZ money and other state and federal dollars for downtown districts, we bought all that property along the riverfront.
Yeah.
People forget what it looked like. Gas station on
Oh
the
God,
corner.
yeah, junkyard. Yeah.
Junkyard
Yep.
on the riverfront.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know, other buildings,
Yeah.
as you know.
Yeah.
The Bannerman building.
Yeah,
You know, on
that's
the
right.
high
Yeah,
Main. It was like it was going to
yeah.
fall. You know.
Bucket Main.
The
Yeah.
Nestor building.
Yeah.
You know, we
Yeah,
were
that's
able-
right, Jim. Yes, I forgot
able
about
to
that.
go out and seek the funds
Yep.
to buy
Yep.
all those properties and put this vision together, and Kim put that vision together.
Yeah.
That we have.
Yeah.
Parking was the thing that the merchants were complaining
Yeah.
about. No place to park. And, you know, we came in, we took care of that. We even had, you know, other people that just would walk up to you and say, hey, thanks for what you've been doing. You're trying to at least maintain the businesses
Yeah.
that we had there.
Yeah.
We had parking meters on the
Yeah, that's
street,
right. One time.
you know?
Yeah. Yep.
But even with that, Jim, and all that work and,
Yeah.
and the commitment, business is still closing up. I mean,
Oh,
when
Jimmy.
you were there, you saw it
Yeah.
happening. You know,
Yep.
it wasn't that we weren't trying to keep the businesses there, losing a lot to the mall.
Yeah.
You know,
At that
I mean,
point in time. Yeah.
It's a heck of a thing
Yep.
to say, but
Yeah.
talking to my friends at K&G's or people at Frank's
Yeah,
and,
right.
and the women's shops, they would say, look, thank you for what you've been doing, but people still aren't shopping there.
Yeah.
So they had parking on
Yeah,
on
exactly.
Sharp Street
Yeah.
or on Buck Street.
Right. Yeah.
You know, one by one, they closed down.
Yeah, but fortunately, Jim, when you and I were there in 97, 98, 99, Kim Ayers, I think, was one of the people that came up with the idea of the Arts District.
That's correct.
And that really, Park and all those things that really were big improvements during that period of time that we were there. And, you know, it was, like you said, give credit where credit's due. It was the key people in City Hall, as you talked about, Lou Thompson and, all the, of course, we talked about Hattie, Susan Robustello. I mean, you could go on and on to name all the wonderful people that contributed. You really can.
Well, it was a great staff, great professional people, great, but it all came from the group that set up front there as commissioners, as mayors, as a team, able to accomplish what we accomplished because we worked together.
Yeah,
You know, that was
absolutely.
the important thing.
Absolutely. Jim, and we all got along.
Yeah.
We really did, honest folks.
Yeah.
For the nicest people you'd ever want to deal with.
Right.
And I mean, everybody was working for the benefit of the city. And, Jeff Trout, you don't get any better person than him.
Yeah.
John Hollingshead, a phenomenal person. Joey Durella, the best. I mean, gosh, he's so organized, did so many good things for us, and it was just, and then Jim and I, so we had the 5 J's, and Jim had all the experience. I had a lot of experience coming in to Millville because I had been the freeholder and freeholder director for the county for 9 years, and I lost in 1991, and I got out. And at that time, business was really doing well, and in 97, Lou Clendaniel said to me, Jim, you always said you wanted to be the mayor of Millville. I said, yeah, I did. He said, well, business is good. Why don't you go give it a try? And I did, was successful. And the good thing was I was able to be down there most of the time because I wanted to vote. I wanted to be the mayor, so I wanted to be there all the time. And being self-employed, I was able to do that a lot and work with the people you talked about that were key people.
One of the keys that we all brought different talent to the commission.
That's true.
You know?
Well, you had all the state connections.
Well, I'm
they
at
loved
the
you
state
with
level,
the state.
with the League of Municipalities.
You were your president of that. You were the only one ever.
President of that.
Yeah.
Crazy people elected me. You know? But being able to utilize that organization.
Yeah.
People, when you mention the League of Municipalities, every municipality in the state is a member.
Yes.
Of that.
Yep.
Full-time
565.
office right down the street from the State House.
Yes.
26, 27 of the smartest people.
Yeah.
That are in there to advise you and work for every municipality throughout the state. You have that to lean on, and then you run into and you meet other people on a board. Like I served on the board.
Sure.
I'm still
Yeah.
a lifetime member of the board. They're crazy enough to
That's super.
induct me into the Hall of Fame.
Congratulations.
And a lifetime membership there. But still, it came down to the group that's there in Trenton. And people have to understand that Trenton oversees municipal government.
Sure.
Department of Community Affairs is the boss.
Yeah.
We cannot adopt a budget without the state approving it.
Yeah.
Line item by line item, even though people will come to a meeting, they don't fully understand, what the process is.
Right.
And sometimes you have to have a meeting at the state level with the commissioner. And the smart thing to do, if the commissioner's a Democrat, you get a member who's the Assembly or the Senate from your legislative district to set the meeting up.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's a politics, yes, but you have to learn how to play that, maybe to get help. And, you know, it's always benefited, you know, our city in that way, because you're not just a name, your face, and I think that's what I've always tried to do. But it's the great people you meet throughout the state that help.
Well, you know, we were lucky, Jim. Although they were not Democrats, they were great people. Jim Hurley was amazing, our own Jim Hurley. Jim Hurley is the one that helped make Millville part of the urban enterprise zone, because they had, because what he did was he combined Millville Vineland so that were limited to 10 to make a joint zone. And when I was there too, and I know you remember this too, Nick Caselda was fantastic. Nick helped get money for the Thunderbolt Club. He was always there. In fact, Nick would take me up to Trenton and introduce me to his colleagues, so we got to know them, and they knew who Millville was. And, you know, we had some great runs. I remember Main Street, New Jersey, cited Millville as one of the best main streets in the state of New Jersey. They brought 2 busloads of people down from their convention. And then we even had the National Main Street Organization come to Millville. They were having their national convention in Philadelphia, and they came down with 3 or 4 buses of people to look at what we had done downtown. And of course, the Arts District helped give that a kick, because we had 14 pioneer artists.
I didn't realize back then how the money and things that were available through Arts District.
Yeah, good point.
And I remember talking with Kim about it. She attended a meeting down in Atlantic City, and I forget who our senator was at that time. Anyway, come back and say, you know, Jim, that's a multi-million-dollar business, you know. And I said, oh, okay. The only thing I knew about art was crime books and crayons.
Me too.
You know,
I know what you mean.
My skill.
I remember you saying that. Same with me.
It's still working for us.
Yes, it is. Well, Jimmy, here was a good example. The Riverfront Renaissance Center for the Arts is still there. And thanks to Kim's work and everything else, you've got the Glass Town Arts Center. That's up at High and Vine now. It's sponsored by the college and all that kind of stuff. But when the Riverfront Renaissance Center for the Arts, which is still there, we were starting that. Mike Galliano got the bid on the project, and they were the Frank Spencer Boy Shops that we bought up and tore them down and put this up. So he said to me, he said, Mayor, do you think this arts district's going to work? I said, yeah, I do. So he went, Mike Galliano, went and invested $1 million in the AA sales building next door, and put another $1 million in it, and that's where El Guacamole is, and many other things are in that building. But that's where the private sector money came in. It was, so you needed the public for the Riverfront Center for the Arts. And I'll tell you, two people that are still here in Millville, folks, that helped with that arts district and are still doing well by us are Jean and Marianne Cannon. They have Village on High. Marianne had her shop across the street. She sold that to another artist, and that's a place. That and the RRCA are the 2 main places left from the arts district.
When you look back, I served on the Board of Education before I.
That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah.
And back then we had the Board of School Estimates.
Yeah.
So the Board of Education could not approve your budget. It was the Board of School Estimates, which consisted of the mayor, the vice mayor, and a commissioner from the city, and 2 members of the Board of Education on that Board of School Estimates. It was me and George Mitchell.
Yeah, yeah.
You talk about a great guy.
Yeah, wasn't he?
I mean,
phenomenal.
God bless him. You know, truly a Millville guy. You know, in and out. But what happens was a lot of times we would get voted down within the budget because we needed more money for schools.
Sure.
We were talking about closing down Culver School. Yeah. Building an elementary school. Yeah. And we got voted down every time. Until finally, you know, somebody got elected, mayor. Now, you know, I control.
Yeah, right.
We have 3 commissioners, myself, you know.
Yeah.
So we're 3-2 now with the Board of Education, working with George Mitchell from the Board of Education.
He's a good guy.
We were able to build a brand new school, which is Silver Run School.
Right,
you know,
and the nice thing too, to give Joey Pierce Jr. credit. And what's been wonderful, Jim, Culver School, instead of tearing it down, it's become the Board of Education offices, which saved us a lot of money and preserved the building, as
so
well.
we've got a brand new school,
absolutely,
for our students. So education is still one of my favorites. I'm pro-education, pro-Board of Education, things that are happening through, with our board. We're very fortunate we have great people serving on that board, Jim, to help, because I think we have to work together. The city has to work together with the Board of Education for our children. And don't forget, that's number one in all of our minds, helping kids. So,
well, we're here at the Finish Line Pub with former Mayor Jim Parent, and we'll be back with more right after these messages.
New Jersey Motorsports Park. Experience the adrenaline rush of go-karting on our challenging tracks, with arrive and drive sessions, available for all skill levels. Looking for something even more daring? Try your hand at axe throwing, and see if you can hit the bullseye. After a day of excitement, relax at the Finish Line Pub Restaurant, and enjoy delicious food and drinks. Group experiences are also available, so bring your friends and family. For an unforgettable adventure, visit NJMP.com to learn more and book your experience today.
At Mintz Insurance, we're proud to have been serving our customers for nearly 80 years, offering 30 different insurance products for your auto, home, and business. And to help ensure that you're getting the best rates possible, we give you up to 3 quotes for every policy, so you can choose what's right for you. At Mintz, we're part of the community. Local representatives, supporting events, and proud of it. It's part of who we are. Mintz Insurance. Call today and find out how we can help you save on insurance, or visit us at mintzinsurance.com.
More than a century ago, General Tire was born, right here in America. Since then, we've made a name for ourselves by making tires you can depend on. Tires built to handle any road this country can throw at them, and relied on by every kind of driver. So you know that no matter where life takes you, with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
When life gives you lemons,
make lemonade.
there's only one person who can truly change tartness into sweetness.
Bitterness into happiness.
His name is Jesus Christ. We can introduce you to him this Sunday. Then, you'll understand his instruction manual.
New Life Church, Millville, New Jersey.
New Jersey Motorsports Park. Experience the adrenaline rush of go-karting on our challenging tracks, with arrive and drive sessions, available for all skill levels. Looking for something even more daring? Try your hand at axe throwing, and see if you can hit the bullseye. After a day of excitement, relax at the Finish Line Pub Restaurant, and enjoy delicious food and drinks. Group experiences are also available, so bring your friends and family. For an unforgettable adventure, visit NJMP.com to learn more and book your experience today.
And I coached his boys.
Welcome back to Inside the Track. Jim Parent, the former mayor of the city of Millville, is my guest. And during the break, Jim was reminding me of all the years of service. And I knew it was a lot. But Jim, tell me how many years you were in the city, how many years with the school board? I mean, you've had many.
25 years with the city, and approximately 4 years with the Board of Education.
It's about long close to 30 years.
Long time.
Wow, that's
long
fantastic.
Time.
And you know what? You could still be there if you wanted to
well,
run.
That's what they keep asking me, Jim, are you going to run? No. You know, my family would hang. You know?
It was funny. I was thinking about if John Hollingshead, of course, passed away. Joe
I'll tell you a great
Durella,
story about John.
Joe Durella is running, and obviously I thought Jimmy and I and Joe And then Jeff Trout, although Jeff doesn't live in Millville anymore.
J's,
Yeah, we had the four of the 5 J's. But fortunately, Jim and I are smart enough not to get into that situation. But thank God that Joe Dorella is going to make a run for it. And, you know, we'll see what happens there.
I can remember my last term that I served, I think it was with you. At that time, you know, that got crazy around again, you know. But I knew 20 years was going to be my limit. And I was the vice mayor.
Right, yes.
I talked to Joe. I said, Joe, give me a vote. Why don't you be the vice mayor? I'm not going to run again.
Yeah.
And so Joe became a vice mayor, and I worked with him.
And he was almost as good as you.
Well, he keeps thanking me, you know, because I worked with him.
Yeah, well, you
on
trained
things that had
him.
to be done.
Yes, exactly.
And he just, you know, he just moved right into it. You know, I didn't have to say much to him because, you know, he just soaked everything up. And he was very effective.
Yeah.
He did his homework.
Yes, he did.
He spoke very good.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Wait,
he's
and
a good friend. With John Hollingshead, and John was one of my dearest friends.
Oh, what a great
You know,
guy.
Died
Cheap,
too
but a
early.
great guy.
Yeah. And he always said he was public director of the police department.
Yeah.
So he always said, Jim, when you go to Trent, will you take me there? I've never been up to visit what. So I said, yeah, okay. Well, it just so happened one year there were one of our issues at the state was more funding for police, fire, and rescue to the municipalities within the state budget. So we had this big rally at the State House, and it was started at the War Memorial. So I take John along with me, and Susie Herman took us up.
That's nice.
Because we wanted the police representative, you know, that's all the municipalities did. So Doug Palmer, who was the mayor of Trenton, and I were very good. What a smart guy, Jim.
He was, wasn't he?
I borrowed a lot of things from him, you know, and tried to implement it down here at the city. So we have thousands of people at the War Memorial. And as you know, politicians get up and speak about supporting and everything. So Doug Palmer said, well, before we, start this procession, I got here something, remarks about Jim Parent, say a few words. I'm looking at him, no. So you get up there and you spiel and say, let's get moving. So I go back down. So doesn't Doug Palmer say, look, I can't think of another person to lead this march, because Doug knew my involvement on certain things, than Jim Parent from the city of Millville. John Hollingshead's next to me.
He's almost
I get John on one side of this banner, and I'm on the other.
Oh, that's cool.
Right?
That's neat.
I mean, you have to see it.
That is really super.
As we're marching this parade all through Trenton to get to the State House, all you hear him say, I can't believe this. I can't believe this. And who tunes in? Joyce Vanneman.
Oh, no kidding.
Joyce Vanneman watches New Jersey Network News. 6 o'clock just about every night. And you know how Joyce was.
Yeah, she was fantastic.
So she picks up the phone, because she calls me a lot. I said, Jim, I saw you and John on TV. But John just was so thrilled. I am in the State House and walking around. But truly a servant of the city. Raised by his mother.
I had a sister in my class, and I knew the family, and they weren't wealthy, but John worked they were poor actually. So, John worked very, very hard.
I like to always give people a big shout out like that. They're in it for the right reason. Try to help the city. Some are in there, and I have no problems with them advancing up the ladder from the city to a county to a state position, because you work with that person. You work with them at the local level, and you see them. You mentioned Senator Hurley, one of my most dearest friends.
Yeah, wonderful man.
I remember with Ashley was walking around when we were campaigning at that time up in the 3rd Ward, and we going over to the senator's house, and his wife's out front. She sees me, she hugs me, she's got tears. Thank you, Jim, for running. And the senator was there, and Ashley said, they know you like that? I said, yes. I said, 2 people in my political life were important, Jim Hurley and Chuck Fisher.
Yeah, good point.
I had the opportunity of seeing the senator at work in Trenton. A lot of people see him just at the local, down here. But to actually see him perform in Trenton, people knew him, and they make a comment. He is really a nice senator. Before that was in the assembly. But he was one of my confidants. He helped me a lot, in my so-called political life up in Trenton. Chuck Fisher, county freeholder director. and pattern yourself and you look to see how Chuck got things done, is because he crossed the aisle. You know, he had Republicans working with
Sure
him.
he did.
You know, it wasn't
Harry
just
Freitag,
me.
Exactly.
And you learn from that. In the world of government, it's politics. You know, and you know, people are going to say, well, like me, I'm not a politician. Well, guess what? That's government.
Yeah.
And you know, you have to learn how to work with each side of the aisle.
Well, Jimmy, I remember Chuck saying this, making this statement, and you and I totally agree with it. Once you get elected, you put the D's and the R's in the closet, forget about them, and you take care of the citizens. And Chuck was great at doing that. There was no question about it. One thing I wanted to move back a little bit to John Hollings said was, John unfortunately passed away of cancer.
Right.
And I had the opportunity to do something very nice for John. John knew he only had...
Look at that car.
Yeah, exactly. And he had so many things to go, you know, months to go. And he said, Jim, all my life I wanted a Corvette. I used, you know, like a really nice used Corvette. And he said, I'm going to sell my truck to get the Corvette. Well, I knew the limited time he had. So anyway, Ford business was doing very well for me. And I said, Johnny, I'm going to lend you the money. You go buy the Corvette. And then he had it. He took. I said, "Yeah, take me for a ride." So he took me for a ride down Ferreton Road. But the nice thing was he got what he wanted before he passed away. And then once he passed away, Molly sold the vehicle and gave me the money that I had lent them. But speaking of Molly, that's one of the other. John was smart. He had a wonderful wife in Molly, and we appointed Molly to take his place.
Yeah, you know,
for a period of time.
I married John and Molly.
Oh, did you really? Oh, that's cool.
As a mayor, you know, you can marry
Jimmy, I've done. I just did a wedding Saturday.
I know, you're still doing.
I'm still doing 300, 350.
I only would do it to personal friends or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, and I performed the ceremonies for John and Molly.
Oh, that's nice.
Like I said, John was, you know, one of the best.
Yeah, he really was. Yeah. Well, and that's what I go back to our time in 1997. It was the 5 J's, Jeff Trout, Jimmy, myself, John Hollingshead, and Joe Durrella. And we never, ever had a disagreement. We worked together. We did what was best for the city, and the city did do very well.
In the difficult times, Jim, because you have to remind people of losing all our industry in our city.
Yes. Right.
Wheatman,
West Company,
Kerr Glass,
Ball Brothers,
Ford, you know, the airwork.
Yes.
Hundreds and hundreds of jobs were lost. They went out of business.
Yeah.
We lost the ratables from that coming in, but we lost people's jobs.
Yes.
They lost jobs, and having grown people come into your office, you know, men crying, nothing. What can I do? What
and especially
can I do?
they were good paying jobs too. It's hard to replace them.
They were good paying jobs. At least you could buy a car, buy a home,
exactly.
and help your children along the way.
Yeah.
You know, we lost all of that in our city. You know,
we
and
did.
then you lose other businesses that were jobs.
Yeah.
What do? You know, people couldn't afford their home anymore. They had to pack up. They had to leave. They you know. They just lost everything. So many people, you know, that we went through that, you know, as public officials.
Yeah.
You know, and what can we do? You know, we try to help as many people as possible. And, you know, it's a shame. You know, that was a major crisis that people forget.
Yeah.
People forget.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, and then, you know, our last term coming in with, you know, a group of commissioners that we really worked together with. Mike Santiago was the mayor.
Right.
We had the epidemic.
That's right.
We had the epidemic.
Yeah. COVID.
You know, we sat there for 2 years.
Yeah.
Because I was fighting my cancer at the time.
Oh gosh.
But still,
oh, that's
you know,
right. Yeah, you had the throat cancer. Yeah.
We were fighting that epidemic, and we had to keep the city open.
Yeah.
And our employees, God love them, you know, you couldn't leave your office. You had to stay in your office. You report there in the morning. You couldn't move out.
Yep.
And people were working at home with a computer. We had to learn in government that having a meeting and staying under, you know, the sunshine law.
Right. Yep.
You know, and be very careful of that. But if it wasn't for these computers and the networks that were able to perform business, I don't know how we did it.
That's a good point.
You know.
Yep. In fact, the county sucks.
It was horrible. It affected every family. I don't care political parties or whatever, or how rich or how poor you were. It affected everyone.
It really affected the county because they had such a small building. They were on top of each other, and 5 of the people working at the county got COVID. One of them, Beth Landino, Costock, she got it so bad she gave it to her husband, Bill, and Bill died from the COVID.
Yeah.
So it was a horrible period of time. And again, the same thing, they had to deal with that. I was a freeholder at the time, just watching that going, oh my God, this is horrible. You know, who would have ever dreamed, you know, that we'd have an epidemic like that hit us.
You know, and I got to give Mike Santiago a shout as the mayor.
Yeah.
You know, how he kept everything together, you know, and how we were able to communicate because we got along as a board of commissioners.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, it wasn't
Well,
about
was
me.
you and Joe Pepitone,
Joe Pepitone.
and Ashley
Cooper.
Adalis and Bruce Cooper.
Yeah, 5 of us. Yeah.
Okay.
The
and
5
Mike.
of us.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
you know, they were great people to work with. You know, and to get us through as a team through probably one of the worst things that affected every family.
Sure.
It was
Yeah,
that
that's
COVID.
true.
And our staff, the professional staff, how they work, how our employees, it was no longer my department. You know, it was our departments. We would move manpower over into your department that needed more help. And that's how we got through it.
Yeah.
You know, so we went through a couple rough times. One, of course, you know, with the industry moving out. Another with COVID.
Yeah.
And we were able to get through it.
Yeah, that's true. I'm sorry for the people that are messaging in. I can't get the iPad to bring up the meeting, so I can't read your messages. But maybe during the break, Ryan will be able to figure it out for me. One thing I can do is talk, but technology, Jim. We didn't learn that in St. Mary's.
Look, if it wasn't for my children, I don't know how.
I know what you mean. Yeah, I had to call my
I have problems
daughter.
with my phone. I have to call my son, my daughter. Say, hey, you know, I'm a stupid.
Well, that's why I got Ryan Narowski. I'm lucky. He can do anything. And of course, the youth helps, I guess.
You know, and we compare. You know, Mayor Finucci is a good friend.
Super
What a guy.
Yeah, isn't he?
And, you know, people compare Millville, Vineland, what have you. You know, they're very aggressive in what they do.
Yeah.
And I try to explain it. You know, that you got good people in City Hall.
Oh, Sandy Forsiski.
You have a mayor that's very active.
Absolutely.
You know, in Vineland.
Yep.
And you can learn something and see the success that you can do if you work together.
Yes, exactly.
You know, don't be afraid to make a decision. Don't be afraid to say something to a commissioner or a mayor if they disagree with you.
Yeah.
You know, just give them that respect that when you walk in and it's either my way or the highway, or I'm going to get you out of here, you know, you lose from it.
Yeah.
And with Mayor Finucci, I can remember, I was on my way out. There was another position on the board, League of Municipalities. I called the mayor.
Oh, that's good.
I called Mayor Finucci up, see if he'd be interested.
What a great guy.
And, you know, he's now a board member.
Oh, that's
with the League
super.
of Municipalities.
That's great. Glad to hear that. We're talking with former Mayor Jim Parent, and we'll be back with Jim right after these messages.
At Mintz Insurance, we're proud to have been serving our customers for nearly 80 years, offering 30 different insurance products for your auto, home, and business. And to help ensure that you're getting the best rates possible, we give you up to 3 quotes for every policy, so you can choose what's right for you. At Mintz, we're part of the community, local representatives, supporting events, and proud of it. It's part of who we are. Mintz Insurance. Call today and find out how we can help you save on insurance, or visit us at mintzinsurance.com.
More than a century ago, General Tire was born, right here in America. Since then, we've made a name for ourselves by making tires you can depend on. Tires built to handle any road this country can throw at them, and relied on by every kind of driver. So you know that no matter where life takes you, with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
When life gives you lemons,
Make lemonade.
there's only one person who can truly change tartness into sweetness.
Bitterness into happiness.
His name is Jesus Christ. We can introduce you to him this Sunday. Then, you'll understand his instruction manual.
New Life Church, Millville, New Jersey.
New Jersey Motorsports Park. Experience the adrenaline rush of go-karting on our challenging tracks, with arrive and drive sessions, available for all skill levels. Looking for something even more daring? Try your hand at axe throwing, and see if you can hit the bullseye. After a day of excitement, relax at the Finish Line Pub Restaurant. and enjoy delicious food and drinks. Group experiences are also available, so bring your friends and family. For an unforgettable adventure, visit njmp.com to learn more and book your experience today.
Welcome back to Inside Track, and thanks to Ryan Narowski, I can now read the comments that were sent in, and a couple of very nice ones, Jim. Tim Carty said, "Hi, Jim Parent. You're looking great, my friend. I hope you're doing well."
Thanks, Tim. Same to you and your family.
And Carolyn Newton said, "What an awesome meeting, and between these two men who really care about Millville, it's a blessing." And thank you, Carolyn. And Jim, Jim's the longest ever elected official for the city of Millville, 25 years in office. I mean, that was amazing. And what got you out? Just because you did have the illness, is that it? Or what got you to stop running? I mean, you still could be there if you wanted.
Well, you know, I made a decision after the 20 years, and that our grandchildren were very active with sports.
That's true. I do. They're very successful too.
And in the youth league, and they're starting to go into the high school. You know, the parent, the Furman family, the Bruce family, all our grandchildren, and it was important to spend some time. Watching them.
That was
they
nice.
Go around one time.
Absolutely. That was nice of you to do.
Sometimes my wife and I, one grandchild will be playing in the sports or together. One will be playing soccer, one will be playing whatever. And she would go to that, and I'm going to the other one, making sure that, one of us would be there, and watching them go through their high school, and how the teachers, we had 8 of them. Wow. 8 of our grandchildren, and all 8 went to college.
Oh, that's fantastic, Jim.
We have doctorate degrees.
Jeez, that's super.
God bless them.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Their parents did a great job. I didn't. I spoiled them. Carol spoiled them. But, that's what we run into. But then, listen to the coaches. The high school coaches, they would say, Mr. Parent, your grandchildren are the nicest children to teach.
That's very nice, yeah.
But they get on that field, they turn into someone different.
And they get like Grandpa.
Yeah, they want to beat you up, they want to do all, and they can turn it off.
Yeah.
I said, well, you know why? They said, no. I said, because they can't get away with it at home. It's like, they call it frustration. But having the opportunity to watch them go through high school, they're honor students.
That's super.
Go to college, play some sports in college, get their degrees. It's all up to the mom and dads to making sure that, they're there. And I wanted to take those 8 years and just
that was nice.
Spend time with them.
Then
I got the stupid. I am Italian, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
I am Italian.
Your mom's side, I know.
Yeah,
that's right.
Even though the last name's Parent, that's another story. But I am Italian. But seeing them progress as well as they did in college, people say, "Hey Jim, will you mind coming back? You run back again?"
Yeah.
And yeah, okay. And I got reelected again, along with John and Mike. And we were going to put a team together.
Yeah.
That we weren't separate. I thought that, why are we going to knock each other off of it when we can get together?
Yeah.
We've got 5 good people.
Yes, you did.
That I think can work together.
Yep.
For the good of the city, and we did that, and we knocked out all the incumbents from City Hall and helped to turn the city back to normal. It's just great with them and the work that our staff has done and the commissioners that I had the honor to serve with. But it's important that public officials understand some things. I've done seminars and spoke at a number of conferences, especially with newly elected officials, and trying to share experiences that we have, because, nobody will remember what you did. Nobody. The success that you had or success on nobody's going to remember that.
No.
But as long as you're there, try to put a positive footprint on something.
Yep.
And it may be something as simple as a ball field.
Yeah.
And it happened to us in Millville.
Yeah.
American Little League.
Yes.
We used to play at the airport.
Yes, we did. Yep.
Well, we were told we can't play there
Yep.
anymore because the baseball might hit an airplane. You know.
Well, that's you. It was home run hitter.
I met with the commissioner down by the dam. He said, "I'll meet me there and I'll show you where we want you to build the field." It was a landfill.
That's right. I forgot about
There
that,
was
Jimmy. Yeah.
stumps
Yep.
and
Yeah.
brush and acres of it, a huge hole.
Yeah.
I said, well, is the city going to fill it up? Well, we don't have the money. I said, well, what do we do about playing baseball next year? Well, you might have to sit out a year. Well, that's not going to happen. I called John Rose.
Oh, yeah.
County,
right.
There was a
And that was a
freehold.
county road, too, Sharp
Right,
Street. Yeah.
the road department.
Yeah.
Mr. Baseball in the western
Oh,
part of the
yeah.
county.
He managed the American Legion team.
Yeah,
Yep.
he was amazing.
Western Park.
So I told him the problem. I said, can you meet me down? So he met me and a couple of the other, Mickey Smith. I remember
Yeah, I
Mickey,
do. Sure,
right?
good guy.
He was one, in fact, Mickey and I coached way back when, also, Little League. So he said, well, let me see what I can do. A couple of days, he said, called me up, said, we can get it filled.
That's super.
Jim, we built that field in 1 year.
Yeah.
1 year.
Yep.
With volunteers,
Yep.
people donating money, and built that American Little League field. I can remember the ceremonial thing when we opened up.
Yeah.
That I said to the people, nobody's going to remember who helped
Yeah.
build this field.
Yeah.
But as long as you go by that field, you're going to
Yeah.
say, you know, something, I had something to do about it.
Yeah, you sure
and you're
did.
the only one
Yeah.
that knows about it.
Yeah.
Except Todd Vaughn. We hired Mr. Vaughn, did some painting at my son's house.
Oh, okay.
So I hired him to do some painting at my house. So he's painting. And he says, you know, Mr. Parent, he said, it was 50 years ago that you and my dad helped build that field.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I guess it has been.
Yeah.
Wow.
I said, what?
Sure.
Todd Vaughn. Todd Vaughn is your father? Was your father? He said, yes.
Wow.
He was a painter.
Huh.
Gave so much to the league,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, your dad was a great person. He said, well, I wasn't even playing baseball. I was just a little kid.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So the point is, in government, it applies to the same thing. Nobody's going to remember the good things that you did.
No, unfortunately,
Okay?
that's
No,
true.
and they won't. And I say this at meetings. I said, but try to put a positive footprint on something.
Yeah.
That, you know, you can go by
Yeah.
and say, you know, I had something to do about that. And you're the only one who remembers that.
Yeah, it's a good point.
You know,
Yeah.
whether it's a school, whether it's the infrastructure in
Yeah.
your community, or,
Yeah.
or the sacrifice that you make,
Yeah.
you know,
Yes.
to do something
Yeah.
positive.
Yeah.
Even working, putting buildings on High Street.
Yes.
What did we do with the county college? We took,
Yep.
you were there.
I am
You
on,
took
yep.
a piece of property on
Right.
a corner
Yep.
that was a bus terminal.
Yes.
Yeah, it looked horrible.
Wasn't
boarded up.
working. Yeah, exactly.
And we put a
Yeah.
brand new building there.
Yes. Yeah, we did.
You know,
Yeah.
a brand new building
Yes.
that's being utilized, maybe not to what we
Yeah.
hoped it would be.
Exactly. Yeah.
But it's a brand new building.
Yeah. And it didn't cost the city anything.
It didn't cost the city anything.
Yeah, we were lucky.
So, and nobody remember how that was done.
No.
Who helped make that
Yeah.
happen? You know,
Yeah.
the new hospital branch there on High Street, the VFW building and all.
Yeah. Complete
you know,
care is there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, there's
Yeah.
another corner
Yeah.
that was done.
Yes, exactly.
Beautification.
Yeah.
Is it everything that you can do on High Street? No. Is it going to be a retail district, Jim? Put a shoe store there. Do you going to make a living? A woman's apparel. Put it downtown. You think it's going to work? No. You know, I mean, so what we have to do is think about what can we bring downtown?
Well, I mean, the one thing, that's another good point, Jim, and we were very much involved with the Levoy Theater.
Yes.
And that's bringing people downtown. And restaurants, El Guacamole we mentioned, unfortunately Winfield's went out of business. The good news is he's opening up next door to where Winfield's was a place called Capone's, which is going to, if Rick has anything to do with it, I guarantee the food's going to be very, very good. And I guess and we have a lot of barber shops, beauty shops, karate places.
Right.
We do have the carpet place
Yes.
on High Street that
Right.
came in, but it needs a lot of emphasis. In fact, Joe Durrell and I were talking today, and I was talking about, you know, Don Ayers, Kim Ayers, and all that, and he said what you recently just talked about, how it's so important the city can, which they did for the library, reach out to the Improvement Authority. Kim's there. It's not going to cost the taxpayers of Millville anything, and maybe use some UEZ money to encourage businesses to come in, or, you know, in fact, yeah, which they really need to do. And speaking of good things, Kim Cardy says, hey, W. James Parent, good to see you doing well. Thank you for the kind words for the Board of Education. I appreciate it, and you and your support over the years.
Yeah, well, I've been around a long time, Jim.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just.
Kim is president, by the way, of this Millville School Board.
Yeah, so you're able to be involved. You're able to help to accomplish something. Is the big point. You're in government, and especially at the local level. Do the best you can.
Yeah.
But always remember the city's first.
Yeah.
It's not about you. It's not about me. It has to be what's best for the city,
Yeah.
not what's best for me.
Yeah.
And when you focus that way and put your attention there, you hope you can be somewhat successful.
Yeah.
And have faith in the people who you work with. And it just goes on and on. But again, we've been fortunate.
Yeah.
My terms, I've had good people to work with.
Yeah, me too.
In my office at the county level, we had a great office. It's because of the people that work there. To help elections and things that we perform throughout the county. Always remember, you have to get along with the state.
Yeah.
Budget-wise and things that you're doing. Don't be afraid to ask help.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to ask for help because they're there. They're smart people up there. You think that this is the only thing that's happened in your city? It's happened in other municipalities.
Yeah.
How did they solve that problem?
Yeah, good point.
What did they do? How did they go about doing it?
Yeah, and you can learn from others and talk.
Yeah, and you listen to them and say, Chris Bowledge.
Oh, I love Chris, Mayor of Elizabeth. Yep, and he's super
One of
guy.
my most dear.
Yep.
Nobody knows this man.
Yeah, oh, I do too.
Okay?
What a great guy.
I love
Mayor of
the man.
Elizabeth.
He's mayor of Elizabeth.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's been there for 100 years.
Yeah, he has. Yeah.
And I served with him on the board, and things that we were able to accomplish together as a team. And one of the things that we've been working on, I know when I ran and won, one of the first people to call me was Chris Bowledge.
Yeah.
Jim, I heard you got elected. He said, "Oh, are you crazy?" I said, "Yeah, I have been." He said, "Look, while you're on, UEZ is a big thing happening up in Trenton.
Yeah.
Board, can we use some input and things and
good.
And make it happen?" We got the UEZ program back.
Oh, that's right. We do remember that.
People forget that,
yeah.
Jim.
Good point.
That can bring in a heck of a lot of money to be utilized in your infrastructure, the downtown district and places.
Yeah.
You can hire police officers. You can do so much with that program. So that night at the commission meeting, Mike was talking about, hey, this and that, because we also got $7.5 million of recovery money. Here, city, you got $7.5 million. New administration coming in.
Yeah.
Because I felt that we can get some planning done, but it's towards the end of our term, and I think that maybe the new commission should want to look at that and spend the money. Mike made that announcement that we got to 7.4 million. We're only going to get 5 million. We get on the phone, we call our friends at the state level, senators, Congress people, to go to bat for us. I said, we need 10 million. Me, I'm going to ask for more.
Sure, yeah.
We got to $7.5 million.
That's fantastic.
Recovery money.
Yep.
Come down to the city. The new administration had that. They have the UEZ. The night that Mike talked about the 7.5 million, I got a call from Chris. Jim, we're going to get the UEZ program back.
That's fantastic.
Oliver is going to sign the thing.
That's super.
I said, you got to be kidding me. He said, no, she is going, Lieutenant Governor.
Yeah.
He was what an ally, Jim, what a beautiful lady.
Yeah,
we lost a true friend in
she was
Trenton.
a sweetheart. Yeah.
She was one of the best. I don't care if Democrat or Republican. She was one of the best.
Yeah.
So I got the call from Chris. I couldn't even tell Mike because I took the oath. I thought, we're not going to.
Yeah.
We got that UEZ program back. So this administration, there's going to be a new administration coming up, in November. I hope that they take advantage of it. Listen to what's available, that you can utilize these dollars.
One of our former assemblymen, Bruce Land, just said say hello to you and I.
Who was it?
Bruce Land.
Oh.
He was.
Hi.
Yeah. Bruce lived in Millville and moved to Vineland. And I remember when Jeff Van Drew was senator, and when he introduced Bruce as the next assembly candidate, he goes, Bruce has got something good going for him. He's a member of the North Italy Club. He's also a member of the Thunderbolt Club. So he's got Millville and Vineland covered, and he certainly Bruce super guy.
Bruce is a great guy. Thank you for serving our country too.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, military as well.
A true true patriot.
Oh my God, a sweetheart is watching. Beth Kostock. Beth, God bless you. Love to see you sometime. Thank you, Beth, for all you did for me when I was at the county as the freeholder director and as freeholder. She was just an amazing lady. She still is a super person. And
they're good people out there, Jim.
Jimmy, we were so lucky. I mean, you know, you worked for the county and ran the whole election department. Jim, in fact, I learned a lot from Jim about that when I was campaigning to run for freeholder. You were very helpful with some of the advice that you gave me there as well. And I was just thinking, I actually got elected 5 times to the city of Millville, but I quit. I went and ran for freeholder 2 years into my 5th term. So I ended up with 18 years as in the city and 17 years in the county. So I had 35 years total that I served in government and enjoyed them mostly, most of them anyway. It was really nice to be able to.
And you talk about county government, Jim, and you can present a budget. As we always have to present the budget. And no matter how many times you try to explain to the public where the money goes and what's left here at the city. We can't say it enough.
True.
They get their tax bill. You say, well, we're not going to increase taxes. All of a sudden it is.
Sure. Well, it's 1/3.
We have no control
exactly over the school board and the county.
Or school tax.
Yep.
So we can zero taxes at the Millville. At
city level.
County tax goes up, schools go up, you get your tax bill, they blame the city. They blame you sitting there. They blame me or whoever goes with the territory.
Which is understandable because they see the taxes coming from the city, even though we have to split them a third, basically.
Well, it's almost a third all the way around. So you look at a municipal budget, $40 million, county budget is how many times that? And your schools on top of that.
Exactly.
So almost 2/3 of the money collected by your city of Millville officials and is about 1/3 of the bill that stays here to run your police department, pay your employees. There's a lot of costs going out.
And you know what they have to run to or pay for is the engineering department. And some wonderful engineer we had named John Newt is watching us tonight. And John, you did a super job.
John Newt is on our Housing Development Corporation.
Oh, that we haven't talked about what a great organization that is, and I know you're on that. What a great.
More than 25 years ago, I know, folks, I'm old. We used to be an arm of the Housing Authority.
Yes, that's
and
right.
And I was also a member of the Housing Authority back then, also board. But what was happening, a new group of commissioners came in and they felt that they should have more say with the Housing Development Corporation. We had the city appointed those people on the board, Housing Authority board, and the Housing Development Corporation was part of that. But they wanted to play politics and try to get rid of people like Kim Walker. I mean, the list of the getting away, Brian Tomlin. The list went on and on.
Now, we also heard from Doug Rainier. Said, looking good,
Doug?
Jim and
Hey,
Jim.
Doug.
Nice to hear about
Mayor,
the good old days when everyone worked together.
I got to talk about Mayor Rainier.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
don't lose the focus here. Doug, how about when we had to close our hospitals? For a regional hospital, Doug. Huh? What a.
But you know what, Jay? I remember the people. I certainly supported the regional hospital. People weren't happy about it, but by God, thank God we did that. I don't know where we would be trying to have Millville holding its own and Bridgeton holding its own. And it's, in my opinion, in spirit, Amy Mansu's a sweetheart. She's done a great job. We're blessed to have the hospital.
For sure,
I know you've dealt with that
Jim,
too.
The thing I tried to explain to the public, if you're going to close the hospital, they're going to run me out of town, tar and feather me. But it was so important because what was happening is we were all losing money, our hospitals. So we had to do something to have health care.
Exactly.
We made a decision. The three of them, the three mayors, looking for a place where the hospital will be.
And centrally located.
And we looked at Millville. I think it was out by the airport area. That's not good enough. Person had a site. Talked to the mayor of Vineland, Harry.
Curley, my cousin,
was the mayor at the time. They had a site by the county college.
Yes.
Well, my brain started going, oh wow.
Yeah.
County college, health, school, education, all these things.
Yeah.
And we were able as a group to bring this hospital to the region. Where would we be without that decision being made?
Oh my God, Jimmy, I don't even want to think about it.
Where are you going to get that type of health care that we have?
Yep.
You and I both, I mean, I'm a cancer survivor.
Yep.
So
I'm
far,
fighting it.
I'm 6 years.
Yeah.
But I had to go to Cooper. I was at Cooper for my surgery and my surgeon up there. But my care was done at Inspira.
Right, it's Southern Oncology.
Right.
Yeah.
The
That's where I
cancer unit. I could stay up at Cooper for my IVs, my radiation, my drugs and everything they're pumping in, or I can have it done at Inspira.
It's a lot easier having it done
because
here.
I was there 5 days a week,
8
in the morning till about 3 in the afternoon, getting my treatments for 8 weeks. I didn't have to go to camp.
That's how long I went, 8 weeks, but luckily I was able to get my radiation.
I was in
locally.
trouble.
So that's a lot.
I was in trouble.
It sure was.
Well, I've got the side effects from it.
Yeah,
I
sure.
mean, and I do. I have side effects from it. But my family didn't have to take me to Cooper.
Exactly.
Our friends didn't have to take me
you
to
imagine
Cooper.
doing that every day?
I had it all done there. And I'm telling you, the greatest care that you can get.
I love Dr. Roy. She's my cancer doctor. Super lady.
The nurses in that wing,
they are amazing, aren't they?
Are the best.
Yeah, they really are.
And people have to understand that, because laying there like I did for those weeks, watching people get treated.
Yes.
And it was funny because, I mean, I couldn't even talk. Imagine a politician can't talk. I couldn't even talk, folks. You imagine how that was. Your parent can't talk. But the nurses would come in and said, I heard we had a celebrity here. And of course, my attitude was, Elvis in the building? But it doesn't matter who you are. You're going to get treated the same.
Oh, absolutely, Jim. They are super.
And to watch those nurses work like they do, to take care of people.
Yes.
Folks, we are lucky. Believe me,
we are
lucky. The decision was made to bring a regional hospital
You bet,
to
Jim.
us.
You're right. Thank God for it.
And it took not just us, it took a whole team to make that happen. Just so happened to be there at that time, to help make it happen maybe. But you don't forget that. Holly City Development Corporation, Heather Santoro.
Oh, she's a sweetheart.
Heather Garrison.
I
God love you.
How wonderful she is, too.
You know, folks, we split away from the Housing Authority because of politics. Somebody knew how to play that game of politics, and we decided to apply to the state for our own nonprofit agency, Holly City Development Corporation, and we did just that. We needed a director to help make that go. Heather was already on board with us, with the Housing Authority. She undertook that responsibility, and we got the approval from the state. We own a building downtown Millville. We've been there for over 25 years.
Wow.
We work with all other nonprofits throughout the community and the city at times. We still feel we can do more in helping the city, but sometimes they don't want our help or listen to smart people, smarter than me. Heather Santoro is one of those angels.
She is, right up there with Kim Walker-Ayers.
Heather Garrison, God love her,
I don't know her, but I've heard great things about Heather.
Dedicated people helping the city. They do it very quietly. We make a major impact on the city. John Noop is one of our board members. Mike Santiago, we just put Mike on, former mayor of the city. We just keep right on moving. And I can't say enough about our staff, full-time staff. We don't get paid for it as a board member. We do it as volunteers. But it's so self-rewarding when somebody just comes up to you and just gives you a big hug and say thank you for helping. There's nothing in the world that you can get and gain, whether it's notoriety or what out there, folks. But it's just that person that comes up and say, hey, thank you for what you've been able to do for me or my family. It's the best thing you can do, being an elected official or just being someone who's a volunteer. We have volunteers like that.
Yeah, we're fortunate, Jim. We are.
We're blessed with volunteers.
Planning board, zoning board.
Youth league coaches, school teachers. People will forget politicians, but there's two people you won't forget. Your coach as long as you live, and your teachers.
Yes, exactly.
The impact that they make on you from a youth league sport organization to a high school or even college. You'll always remember your coach, and you'll always remember your school teachers. Now, you and I went to a parochial school.
Yes, we did.
I went to St. Mary's. The nuns left their mark on me. You can rest assured. Okay.
Yeah, you were honored, but I loved the nuns, and you did too, I'm sure.
It was a great education, but people will always remember those people who made a major impact on their life. But as a politicians, we come and go.
Yeah.
You know, we come and go.
Absolutely.
And Jim Quinn who? Jim Parent who?
Yeah, exactly.
Some people
right.
remember.
Yeah, a few.
But that's not why you're in it.
No.
You know, that's not
nice.
why you're in it. You're in it to help your community.
Exactly. Well, Harvey Hovis, you know Harvey. Harvey's watching, said hello to you and I, and Harvey is in Vero Beach, Florida.
Hey, Harvey.
And what's neat, folks, is you see with Facebook and YouTube, we're all over the world. And we're in Florida. We've had, I wanted to say John Newp. I wanted to mention that a good guy, a super friend of John's and mine, Bill Rafferty, just passed away. Bill was county engineer for a while, and Bill used to do a show with me about baseball, but just one of the nicest men. He just passed. My condolences to his wife and family. But when Bill was on, his son and grandson live in Berlin, Germany. So they were watching for Berlin. So,
and then you're right, Jim, because the point is, like on Facebook, this happens, you know, I get a hit on my Facebook page. Are you the Jim Parent who coached football?
Oh, that's true. I bet you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, football.
The guys that are in their 50s now.
Yes. He said, Mr. Parent, Coach Parent, you don't remember me. I'm so-and-so, Tennessee.
Wow.
And how you made an impact on that young man's life.
Yeah.
I said, what? Yeah. And it happens a lot, folks.
Yeah.
You know, that call it from North Carolina saying the same thing. And the point is, they don't forget that you're a coach, you know, or a school teacher, that you help make an impact, you hope, on someone's life.
Well, here's a good point. Tim Carty's verifying what you said. He said, Jim, you're right about the coach. He's been coaching, Tim has, for the last 4 years in youth soccer. And he said, I love when my older players remember me and talk about how they're doing now. Even if someone holds the door, that little thank you from them goes a long way. And Vicki Shannon Taylor, she said, good to see you, Jim. Hope all is well. And I got to tell you the story about her wonderful brother. Of course, God bless Timmy. He was super. And we did, the city, to their credit, named a beautiful recreation area behind Lakeside in Tim's honor. Well, when I was mayor, we had the landfill, which was then turned into the girls, well, I had midget football and a girls softball. So I had the commissioners, we all voted, to name that after Rob Shannon. So Rob comes up to me when we're doing Timmy's thing. He goes, thanks a lot, Quinn. He says, you name a damn dump against for me. But I love him. I love that whole Shannon family. I mean, what great people they are. It really was.
But as a coach, you know, I started coaching football in 1964.
You were just out of high school.
Yeah.
A couple years.
So when John Rubart asked me would I come down and help with the team.
Yeah.
So I was only going to do it for a couple of years.
Yeah.
60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, into the 2000s. My son came home from college. He started getting involved with coaching also. Good. So the old man, you know, I help out. This little boy came up to, I'll never forget it, Jay. He says, Coach Parent. I said, yes. My pop-up said you coached him. I told my son, I'm out of here. That's it. You know, and I'm not the only one who's coached that long, Jim. We have a lot of people over the years.
I coached Little League for many years.
Dedicated working with
softball
as a coach.
And you know what? One of the greatest memories I have is girls softball that I coached for probably 10 years, and Little League I coached for about 10 years also with the two boys. And just wonderful experiences. And then working with like Bill Forrester and Bill Ritter and just Ron Shea and all the people that I could go on Steve Nieder.
We brought the first World Series to the city of Millville.
That's right. Yes, that's true. Yep.
First World Series.
Behind
what a thrill. And bringing something like that into our community, Jim.
Yeah.
I mean, Rob Shannon drove me crazy, folks. You know,
you gotta love him.
Because he worked so hard to make it happen. God loved him and his family. that we broke the World Series, and we had the Girls Series in Millville.
Yes, we did. Yeah,
You
I
know?
went down to South Carolina. Kildelville Hill, South Carolina is where we were playing, and we won. And I got to lobby the people at the World Series, and that's what got it to Millville the next year. And of course, Timmy was involved with that, coaching and all that stuff. We'll be back to wrap up our program with Jim Parent right after these messages.
At Mintz Insurance, we're proud to have been serving our customers for nearly 80 years, offering 30 different insurance products for your auto, home, and business. And to help ensure that you're getting the best rates possible, we give you up to 3 quotes for every policy, so you can choose what's right for you. At Mintz, we're part of the community, local representatives, supporting events, and proud of it. It's part of who we are. Mintz Insurance. Call today and find out how we can help you save on insurance, or visit us at mintzinsurance.com.
More than a century ago, General Tire was born, right here in America. Since then, we've made a name for ourselves by making tires you can depend on. Tires built to handle any road this country can throw at them, and relied on by every kind of driver. So you know that no matter where life takes you, with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
When life gives you lemons,
Make lemonade.
there's only one person who can truly change tartness into sweetness.
Bitterness into happiness.
His name is Jesus Christ. We can introduce you to him this Sunday. Then, you'll understand his instruction manual.
New Life Church, Millville, New Jersey.
Welcome back to the Finish Line Pup. Jim Quinn along with Jim Parent. We're about ready to wrap up. Before we do, though, Doug Grenier had a good point. He said, don't forget Coach Tony Cerace, who we both love immensely. Correct. He's the second best AD in this area. Joe Blandino was number 1, and I love Joe Blandino, too. But anyway, Jim, thanks for coming in, man. I enjoyed our time. We'll have to do it again.
Hey, no, I'm around, Coach.
I hope so. I hope we're both around for quite a few years.
Hey, we're happy to be in the upright position right now.
Exactly. Thank you, Ryan Arowski, for producing the show. Thanks, folks, for joining us. We'll see you again real soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
This has been a QBC television production, in association with our partners and sponsors. QBC broadcasts on Comcast Cable Channel 22, and live streams its programming on Facebook and YouTube. All rights reserved by Quinn Media and QBC, programming that serves the South Jersey market.